not to make you feel bad at all, ha? I'm just presenting it to you in a way nga, when we wanna lose weight, really, when we starve ourselves, that's not how it's gonna work. So there's a concept nga, I think you've heard me talk about it. It's called MOVABA. So, moderation, variety, and balance. Moderation, obviously coming from the word na we eat in moderate amounts according to what our body really just requires, no? Variety, meaning we don't restrict ourselves or we don't kanang put ourselves in a box, no? We're just gonna eat this certain type of food because it feels healthier or because that's just what we wanna eat. No, we don't restrict ourselves now. We're just gonna eat, I'm just gonna eat protein, or I'm just gonna eat a salad today, just a salad. Because some people would think, if I wanna lose weight, I should just eat veggies. And that's true, they do lose weight, but they don't feel good. Because our body needs protein, our body needs carbohydrates. They are not bad. They are just bad if they're in excess. If you continue lang to eat veggies, like where are you gonna get the energy to move? Where are you gonna get the protein you need to repair all the muscles that were strained on that day? The concept of good and bad food, as long as you don't have allergies, because that would be bad. That would be the bad food, obviously. But the concept of good and bad food, that actually does not exist in a way. There's no one certain food that is good or bad. It's just how much you eat of it and the method of preparation. And then the last one is balance. So that's what we call nga, calories in, calories out. So our body needs a certain amount of calories for us to just live, to stand upright, to breathe, to do our functions, no, involuntarily. And that's called the basal metabolic rate. Remember ka when I sent you the computation of your calories? I told you multiply it lang to your activity factor, the number of minutes. So the first set of numbers or calories was the basal metabolic rate. So that's what you need to survive. By principle, if you wanna lose weight, you will deduct lang 500 to 1,000 from your total energy requirement. So that includes na katong basal metabolic rate times your activity factor. So you deduct 500 to 1,000 and you will lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. That's the healthy rate of losing weight. Because if you lose weight more than that in such an abrupt time, you are very prone to malnutrition. And malnutrition does not always look like nga magniwang or like mamutla or like that. You could actually look just fine, but then your energy levels are so bad. Some people, even if malnutrition causes depression also, because it's very heavy na, your body is so wala na, it's tired, so you don't know what to do. So by not eating, you're actually causing more of yourself na ma-depress. It's like a vicious cycle, and that's what we want to cut. So don't deprive yourself. You will not lose weight by cutting your calories for just 2 days. If you would manggani, you're still gonna bounce back, or you're gonna be worse. So that's a cycle we need to cut. If ever nga you do feel nga I look fat, still force yourself to eat. Bahala na if you just eat half of what you normally eat, basta eat lang jud. Don't kuan nga no eating. So that's not good. Okay? So ano lang, that's the concept of energy balance. So calories in and calories out. So yun, but it has to be consistent. It cannot be nga calories in, calories out for 2 days lang and then balik na naman. So kana consistency, and then a lot of times people get frustrated, and that's the reason siguro why nutrition advice is not very uso, because we want, I mean, who does not want kanang instant effects, right? When you go on keto, I'm not like, miski ako, I agree nga keto really is effective in losing weight, but in the long run, luoy kayo ka. It's so bad for you. So it's always slow and steady, but it's the healthy way of losing weight. It also feels more rewarding knowing you went slow and steady, but you feel good, you feel healthy. So that's what we're aiming to do. We just have to be patient through this process. The next thing I'm really gonna do is I'm gonna compute more or less the calories that you eat to find an estimate how much you actually eat in a day. Then compare it to your energy requirement, your total energy requirement. So once I identify that and see nga, oh, is she eating enough or is she eating over, then we're gonna start to modify your diet lang. But slowly. We're not gonna do nga diretso. Even though I said nga it's 500 to 1,000 nga i-deduct, it does not mean that 500 diretso I deduct. We might go 200 lang sa, and then 400, 500, and so on and so forth. I'm also gonna include a list of food, and I'll ask you to encircle the ones that you are most likely to eat. So I know when I make a meal plan, because it's very important I don't want you to be in a diet nga you don't see yourself eating it. Diba? It's just torture. And diet shouldn't be like that. And then we're gonna do like a scheduled check-in on each other, so I know your progress. So yeah, thanks. And we can do this. Yep. No problem. True. It's okay. Basta, kanilang dyan, this is one thing na I want you to, like, regardless, there are stages to change, diba? The pre-contemplation, contemplation, I think you've heard of that. And then there's also, although we don't want that to happen, there's also the stage of relapse. And it happens, okay? So I don't want you to think relapse is bad. It happens, too. So that only means, in the nutritionist and dietitian side, if relapse happens, it just means nga, we have to modify your diet again. So I want you to know nga, ang relapse is normal. It happens, although we try to avoid it as much as we can. But I don't want you to hide it from me if ever you relapse. Okay? Let me know. We have to be transparent here. So, kana lang.